AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also, if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
Ever since AOC was paraded around as the Democrats' golden ticket for 2028, Bill Maher has been sounding the alarm, and this time he's not holding back. He did the same thing in 2024 when the DNC blindly crowned Kamala Harris, completely ignoring his warnings. And we all saw how that disaster unraveled. Now, Maher is back, torch in hand, and he's calling out what he sees as a glaring, childish fantasy from the left. And he's ready to light this whole mess on fire. Just a few weeks ago, we brought you this clip, and it sent shockwaves across the political world.
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase all. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
Just days after AOC's name started swirling as a possible replacement for Kamala Harris, everything went off the rails. Instead of rising to the moment, AOC has been busy setting fire to her own reputation. One disastrous media appearance after another, from wild economic ramblings to confusing policy rants that leave people scratching their heads. She's been stirring up more alarm than admiration. And if this is the face Democrats want to show off in 2028, they'd better wake up fast. Because the more she talks, the more people are asking the one question no party wants to hear. Is this really the best they've got?
Unemployment is low because everyone has two jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution. Yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition.
This is exactly why voices like Bill Maher are blasting the warning sirens about AOC. Behind all the yelling, staged outrage, and constant social media drama, there's barely any real leadership to be found. She thinks being loud equals being right. She confuses aggression with intelligence and turns every moment into a performance, not for the people, but for Twitter likes. Maher sees it plain as day. If Democrats tie their future to AOC in 2028, they're not just playing a risky game, they're steering straight into a political catastrophe.
At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is. This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
The Democrats are bleeding support, and it's happening fast. Their base is growing tired of the party's obsession with woke politics. Biden didn't leave office with grace. His final stretch was filled with confusion, exhaustion, and broken promises. Kamala Harris made things worse with her scattered speeches and lack of clarity, pushing more people away than drawing them in. And now, AOC is doubling down on the same echo chamber that's already driving middle America out the door. Think Gavin Newsom or Tim Walz are going to save the day? Think again. Their records are loaded with scandals, empty virtue signaling, and tone-deaf policies that alienate more voters than they attract. Even lifelong Democrats are starting to wander. Some are leaning towards centrists, others are turning independent, and many are just giving up on voting altogether. The real problem isn't just the faces on the posters, it's the ideology itself. It's totally out of touch with everyday economic concerns, basic safety, and common sense.
You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
We'll get to where Bill Maher's heading in just a moment, but first, let's talk about what he's exposing. There's a deep, almost obsessive disdain coming from AOC in the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, and it's aimed straight at America itself. Maher isn't sugarcoating anything. He's calling out the fake outrage, the non-stop identity politics, and this bizarre habit of labeling patriotism as bigotry. In their eyes, if Trump supported it, it must be evil. Even if it actually helps the country. Tax breaks for working families? Racist. Border security? Xenophobic? Energy independence? Climate denial? It doesn't matter how reasonable or beneficial something is, if Trump touched it, they treat it like a toxic bomb. And Maher, true to form, calls it what it is, pure ideological self-destruction. Democrats aren't just fighting Trump, they're fighting reality itself. And in doing so, they're pushing away the very Americans who still believe in this country.
For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America's just a big ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
Sometimes I jump on Twitter, scroll for 2 seconds, and immediately log off. Because the hatred for America is absolutely unhinged. It's like a digital bonfire, blazing with anti-American rage, led by young liberals who seem to despise the very country that gave them the freedom to scream in the first place. You'll see them tearing down everything, the nation's history, its values, even the flag. They act like America is some monstrous villain, instead of the land that gave them freedom, opportunity, and rights that billions across the globe can only dream of. I've traveled, I've seen life outside this country, and believe me, most places can't hold a candle to what we have here. Not in freedom, not in opportunity, and definitely not in prosperity. Yet these keyboard warriors think it's edgy or noble to trash their own home. It's not brave, it's ignorant, spoiled, and frankly embarrassing.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgments where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut the fuck up.
And then there's AOC's performative activism, a non-stop act built for applause, not leadership. Every move she makes feels like it's been rehearsed 100 times. Not to serve the people, but to win headlines and social media clout. She tries to sell this image of a tough working-class warrior, but the truth tells a different story. We recently learned her real name is Sandy Ocasio, not exactly the fiery, revolutionary brand she pushes. And she didn't grow up in some gritty Bronx struggle. She was raised in a wealthy, comfortable suburb. That bartending tale she trots out, let's be honest, millions of students work service jobs to get by. That's not a sob story, that's just normal life. But AOC spins it like she clawed her way out of the depths of despair. In reality, she's been role-playing as a woman of the people, all while enjoying every advantage behind the curtain. This isn't authenticity, it's marketing. And finally, people are starting to see right through the performance.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
Compare the freedoms women enjoy in America to many other countries, and the difference is staggering. Here, women can vote, own property, pursue any career, dress how they want, drive where they please, and walk alone without fear of being treated as second-class citizens. They can lead businesses, run for office, speak their minds, and shape their futures without needing anyone's permission. That kind of freedom is unheard of in large parts of the world, places where women are still silenced, controlled, or worse, brutally oppressed. Yet somehow, AOC and her allies want us to believe America is a hostile place for women just because it doesn't bend to every demand of radical ideology. Disagreeing with gender politics isn't hatred. Pushing back on overreach isn't oppression. The irony is unbearable. They scream about injustice in a country that gives more freedom, protection, and opportunity to women than nearly anywhere else on earth.
Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
And when it comes to the endless war against capitalism, let's be real, that argument falls apart fast. Critics love to attack the very system that built the richest, most innovative, opportunity-filled nation in the world. Sure, socialism and communism might sound sweet in theory, equality, shared wealth, no poverty, but in reality, they turn into economic graveyards. History is packed with nations that embrace those ideologies only to collapse under government control, lack of innovation, and crushed ambition. Just look at Venezuela, Cuba, or the former Soviet Union. These places had natural wealth and potential. Now they serve as cautionary tales. People are literally risking their lives to flee those regimes and chase the American dream. That should tell you everything you need to know. Capitalism isn't perfect, but it rewards effort, sparks ideas, and fuels real progress. America shouldn't flirt with socialism. It should sprint the other way. We don't need fantasy promises. We need systems that actually deliver.
But again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through shit-colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable, privileged assholes we are? Immigrants.
Absolutely. Because immigrants know better than anyone just how bad life can be outside of America. It's no accident that millions risk everything, their limbs, their lives, their freedom, just to make it to this country. They cross scorching deserts, brave dangerous waters, and endure horrors we can't even imagine. Not for handouts, but for a shot at freedom and dignity. If America were the cruel, broken nightmare AOC and her ideological allies claim it is, then why are people from every continent fighting tooth and nail to get in? The answer is clear. Because, flaws and all, America is still the world's beacon of hope. Immigrants don't come here chasing socialism or identity politics. They come for the American dream. They know what real oppression looks like, and they know the difference between freedom and tyranny. That's why it's almost laughable when privileged politicians bash this country from their cozy, taxpayer-funded offices. Immigrants get it, even if progressive elites refuse to admit it. America isn't perfect, but it's still the greatest shot at liberty, opportunity, and truth the world has ever seen.